All right, let's look at the homework 1.4, problem number 4. All right, so we have this function f of x is equal to negative x squared minus 8x plus 9, and we want to find its domain and the range. All right, so let's do that. All right, so let's find the domain. Actually, we don't really have to do much here. All right, so remember that we have to worry about when you have a square root, and also we have to worry about something when we have a fraction. And this guy doesn't have any of that. So therefore, there's no restriction on x, so which means that you can plug in any number you want. So domain is going to be all real numbers. So in interval notation, all real number is negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, let's check the answer. All right, I came back and looks like we got the domain correctly. All right, so let's look at its range. All right, so range, what we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and complete the square and see if we can figure out the range. All right, so let's see. So to complete the square, first I'm going to pull out this negative sign from the first two terms. So we get something like this. All right, so you get here. I pulled out the negative sign from the first two terms. Actually, I didn't want to have that yet, so I'm going to take that away. All right, so here, I pull out the negative sign, and then if you pull out the negative sign, it becomes positive 8x, and a 9 is at the end. All right, so it's exactly the same thing. And what we want to do is, since we want to complete the square, we're going to squeeze in the third number we need. So remember 1/2 of 8, which is 4. Then we square that, so 16. So we would like to have 16 in there. So this would be nice, all right? But we can't just put 16 in there. So we have to subtract 16 right away so that we don't change the function. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the first three terms together and then kick the negative 16 out of the parentheses. So we distribute this negative sign to negative 16, turn it into 16, then put it outside. So we get something like this, right? So three guys together, but the negative 16 is kicked out, but the turns into positive 16. All right, so this part, we can write it as x plus 4 quantity squared, and a 16 plus 9 is 25. So we can complete the square this way. All right, so we are looking for the range. Remember the range of possible function values, right? All right, so here. Since there's a square here, so x plus 4 squared, the largest, smallest possible number would be 0, right? But there's a negative sign, so it's going to be largest possible number is 0 from a negative quantity x plus 4 squared, right? So biggest we can get out of this part is 0, right? Then plus 25, so 0 plus 25. So 25 is the largest possible function value we can get from this function f of x, because this part is always less than or equal to 0. All right, so we know that the domain is going, actually that we're looking for range, right? So we're looking for the range, right? Largest value we can get would be 25. So I'm going to put the 25 there. Right, so that's the largest number, right? And we can actually achieve 25 by plugging in negative 4 for x, so that it's a 0 plus 25. So we want to include 25, so I'm going to put the square bracket, right? Then by choosing a different number for x, this number is going to be more negative and more negative, so we can make it as small as we want. So we can put negative infinity as left end. So it's going to be any number, any real number less than or equal to 25. All right, so I'm going to give you the graph using a GeoGebra. So I'm going to open up a GeoGebra here. All right, so remember that the function is f of x, and this is equal to negative x squared minus 8x plus 9. So we get this picture. Oops, I think I have to make it a little bit smaller here. All right, all right. So you can see that here. This is actually facing down parabola. And as you can see that here, this number right here is going to be 25. Maybe I should zoom in to see if it's 25 here. Right? So you can see that the highest point is 25, but the function can take any number less than or equal to 25. So you can see that if you look, and you can keep on going down forever. All right? So therefore, we have a range which is less than or equal to 25. All right, so let's type this guy in. All right, so the range is from negative infinity to 25, and then we put that square bracket. All right, let's check the answer. All right, I came back, and looks like we got the range correctly as well. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.